I'm going to be conducting the synthesis reaction experiment. A synthesis reaction is when two elements react together and yield a product, one product. For my synthesis experiment, I'm going to need a strip of magnesium, oxygen, and a heat source. And then some additional things that you can have are safety materials. So I'm going to be using goggles, gloves, some tongs, and a bowl of water for safety purposes. So when I light the magnesium on fire, what you're going to see is this magnesium will burn very bright and it will give off heat. Because of the light, you do not want to look right into it because it is very bright. And because it gives off heat and light, we know that it's a chemical reaction because of that. In addition to that, we also know that it is an exothermic reaction. So the formula balanced equation for my experiment is 2Mg plus O2 yields 2MgO. So when magnesium reacts with oxygen, it will yield magnesium oxide. And you will see that in my experiment. Now that I have my goggles and gloves on, it's time to conduct the experiment. So as you see, I will start with burning the magnesium, and as you will see, it is quite bright once it starts burning. And as it burns, you will start to see white powder that forms after it. You can see the string forming, and when it drops into the water, all that white stuff is the magnesium oxide.
Okay, so today we are going to do a single replacement chemical reaction, and the formula for it is CuSO4 plus Fe, and the product is FeSO4 plus Cu. What you're about to see in the single displacement chemical reaction is a nail being coppered. You will see me dip the nail into copper sulfate mixed with water, and it is a chemical reaction because the nail changes colors. So first we're going to take our copper sulfate and we're going to dump it into our water. And then we are going to mix to make the solution. James, come here and show them the solution. Okay, it makes like a blue solution. And then we are going to dip our nail into the solution. Till it's all mixed, and then we can dip our nail in, hold it in there for a couple seconds. I don't know if you can see it very well, but the nail is coppered, and that is how you copper a nail. Okay, so next experiment we're going to be doing a double replacement with baking soda and calcium carbonate. Calcium chloride, sorry, my bad. The formula is CaCl2 plus Na2CO3, and it makes CaCO3 plus NaCl. The balanced equation is CaCl2 plus Na2CO3, which makes the product of CaCO3 plus 2NaCl. What you're about to see in this double displacement chemical reaction is me mixing calcium chloride, baking soda, and water into a bowl. It is going to form a white precipitate called sodium carbonate, and we know it's a chemical reaction because it produces a gas. Okay, so first we're going to be mixing our baking soda with our sodium chloride. Oh my good lord. Okay. Okay, take a video of this part. Pause it. Me mixing the calcium stuff together. Okay, and that made a white precipitate of calcium carbonate. That's a double display reaction. Okay, so we are adding some water to our calcium carbonate because it didn't form like a solid. So I'm gonna see if this works. Oh, she's bubbling. Oh.
For my project, I am creating an experiment for combustion. My reactants are C12H22O11 plus 12O2, which yields 12CO2 plus 11H2O as my products. For this experiment, you are going to need sugar, oxygen, and heat. Start with placing a little bit of sugar into your spoon over a flame. The flame creates heat, which causes light and a higher flame. As it burns, it starts to create smoke. The smoke consists of CO2 and water vapor.
For my chemical reaction, I'm going to be demonstrating decomposition. To do this, I'll be creating elephant toothpaste. But before I start, I want to share a little information before going outside. So, to create elephant toothpaste, I will be using the ingredients of hydrogen peroxide, water, dish soap, dry yeast, and food coloring. So the food coloring is to show you guys the reaction so you can see it better, and then the dry yeast will act as a catalyst, which will speed up the process and help us just see it quicker. The balanced chemical equation for this is 2H2O2, which is the reactants, and it yields to create the product of 2H2O plus O2. What you're about to see in the next clip is my demonstration of elephant toothpaste being created. And so how that occurs is that I'm gonna use a water bottle, and I'm gonna mix all the ingredients. So I'm gonna mix hydrogen peroxide, water, dish soap, dry yeast, as well as food coloring, and that will rapidly produce foam, and it will overflow from that container, which resembles if you were to drastically squeeze toothpaste out of a tube. The way we know that this is a chemical reaction is because it produces a gas because of the foam and the bubbles, as well as the temperature may increase due to the exothermic reaction. So.
Okay, good.
Alright, so to start our experiment, I'm going to take my bottle and I'm going to pour a good amount of hydrogen peroxide in it.
A lot.
So then there's that, and then we want a pretty decent amount of dish soap. There we go. So then there's that, and then to show the color, just to show the reaction. Stuck. Just add a couple drops of food coloring. Okay, then stir up. Okay, then you have that. And then in a separate container, you want to add some water. And then your yeast. Just add on. So, after you swirl that for a little bit, you can pour it in. And you have elephant toothpaste. And the bottle is indeed warm, and it is creating foam, which produces gas. So